Session of the Indian Parliament will commence from today and will continue till December 22nd. The government has 21 bills on its agenda for the session, including the bills to replace the IPC, Indian Evidence Act and the CRPC. Other bills like Central Universities Amendment Bill 2023 and the Advocates Amendment Bill 2023 will also be introduced in the lower house on the first day of the session. Apart from legislative work, the Ethics Committee report into the allegations against Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Moitra for cash for query allegations in Parliament will also be presented in the lower house today. Whereas in the upper house, the Post Office Bill 2023 has been listed for passage after discussion. All right, DD India's correspondent Vikas Sarthi is joining us from New Delhi. Vikas, good morning. Now, we saw how the monsoon session of Parliament ended and it was cut short by continued standoff between Treasury and the opposition. Every day, almost every day in the session was marked by protests. Let us understand more from you. What are the expectations from the winter session? Though we've given a broad outline of the legislative agenda that is likely to be taken up in both the houses of Parliament during this session.
Good morning, Preeti. So in this particular session, we see some very important bills are being brought by the government. Particularly, you just mentioned that the Standing Committee of Home Ministry will table reports related to the three new bills which will replace the previous IPC, CRPC and Indian Evidence Act, and these reports related to these three bills will be tabled in both the houses today. Later in the week or the next week, we will see that these bills will be discussed and debated in both the houses. Other than that, the most important issue today, Preeti, in the Parliament is going to be the allegations against Mahua Moitra. Ethics Committee of Lok Sabha has given its report, and now this report will be tabled in Parliament today, in the Lok Sabha today, and then Speaker will take appropriate action on the basis of that report of Ethics Committee. As we know that according to the sources of the committee, that out of 10, 6 members have recommended expulsion of TMC MP from the Lok Sabha. So this is going to be the huge, there's going to be a huge debate on that issue in the Parliament, and we may see that again opposition parties will create a ruckus on this particular issue. Preeti?
All right, Vikas, when we talk of any legislative business that has to be passed, a lot also depends on the opposition. Let us understand from you, how do you read, because we've seen on earlier occasions also how opposition has, has made sure that the House does not function properly in spite of repeated calls by the government, by the leadership of discussions and other means. Now, let us understand more from you. As a Parliament reporter, how do you judge the intentions, or for that matter, how do you judge what could be opposition's stand in this session as well?
Well, Preeti, if we see the previous sessions of the Parliament as well, the government was of the view that the important bills, particularly like the bill related to the IPC and bills related to the appointment of election commissioner, these are very important bills, and the government was of the opinion that opposition must ensure that a proper discussion takes place in both the houses. But what we saw in the previous session also, that if opposition continues with the disruption, then these will be passed through much lesser debate, through a very few discussion on the part of opposition MPs particularly. But these are very important bills, and we expect that opposition will take part at least in the discussion of 3 important bills which are going to completely change our criminal justice system. So that is going to be very important. And earlier also, the opposition demanded that these bills should be sent to the Standing Committee of the Home Ministry. So that demand was also taken into the consideration by the government. But we will see today that what is the agenda of the opposition, particularly on the basis of the recent outcome of the assembly elections. Opposition may again try to bring those issues which it raised in the previous sessions as well, and try to disrupt the proceedings in both the houses. And as we were discussing, that particularly the matter related to the alleged misconduct of TMC MP, this is a very sensitive issue, and we will see that opposition MPs will create again ruckus, particularly in the Lok Sabha on that particular issue.
All right, Vikas, we leave it here. Thank you for joining in with those details. That